Spooktacular, October 2020, Week 2. Day 8, Dark Mountain. Starting this week real strong, y'all. This was a found footage movie. Not admittedly my favorite genre of horror. Sometimes people can pull it off. This unfortunately was not the case for this movie. I've seen worse. Trust me, I've seen worse. I don't want to dog it too much, but this was just kind of so-so. Or you got so-so here. This movie is about right here. Basically, the movie follows, it starts out like, oh, this is all true, blah, 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 blah. And we found this footage 8 months after these people went missing, and these were our friends, so we're going to show the footage type bullshit. And yeah, what follows is not really all that interesting, sad to say. But yeah, it follows these people that went missing. They're making a documentary about the Lost Dutchman Mine, which is a lost gold mine, supposedly in the Superstition Mountains in Arizona. So these people are out in the desert, kind of goofing around. I don't really know. No one knows where this is at. They talk to a guy that runs the historical society there, and he tells them there was a Native American tribe that used to guard it. They might kill people still, because there's been a lot of people going to search for this mine that just, mysteriously disappear. So they're some people say it's ghosts, some people say it's aliens, some people say, like I said a second ago, Native American tribe that guards it. You would think, I was leaning more towards either ghosts or this tribe was protecting the mine because it had haunted gold or something. I don't know. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. But, yeah, it was kind of a combination of all those things. So the whole time they notice they're being followed. You catch small glimpses of somebody really far away. Nothing really comes of it. Then halfway through they camp out. It's a guy, his girlfriend, and their friend. They're camping out. One of them, the friend, leaves a camera, setting out while they're drinking, partying, and doing, all their fun stuff out in the desert at night. And in the middle of the night, it catches a glimpse of a triangle shape, or not really even a triangle shape, 3 lights in a triangular pattern. So right off the bat, you think, oh, it's aliens. Aliens are harvesting the gold for some reason. Well, then it turns into a weird possession movie. They don't find the mine just yet, but the boyfriend takes a piece of gold, and he's like, oh, I found this when we were down this other cave that we thought might be it or lead to a clue. Then they found an underground bunker entrance, and they somehow end up in it. Granted, I got a little lazy with this one. I fell asleep about halfway through. I finished it though, but I was watching this on Tubi. Shout out to Tubi. I fell asleep, woke up. It had continued to autoplay, so I thought, I'm going to go back and see what it was autoplaying. 3 Bigfoot movies. 3 found footage Bigfoot movies. Now, I'm a fan of Bigfoot, the idea of Bigfoot, but I have not seen a Bigfoot movie besides, Harry and the Hendersons, that I actually enjoyed. So, I was like, well, fuck, I really need to finish watching this movie, but holy shit, it's probably Bigfoot, since Tubi was like, here, let's show you 3 more Bigfoot movies. I'm not even going to name them, because they probably sucked. What little I watched of that 3rd or 4th one was not good. Either way, back to the movie. I sat down again, finished it. The boyfriend somehow becomes possessed. Yeah. He's possessed, and he's thinking, oh, they're gonna, he's taking he thinks the friend is taking the girlfriend from him. Thinks an elaborate ruse to trick him. He doesn't trust anyone. I think he cries blood and maybe vomits blood at some point in this movie. And they're all freaking out. Then all of a sudden, boo, he's got a gun, and he's He's ready to kill everybody, and he somehow ends up in the bunker. They can't get him out, but then he's out, and he's just kind of like, hanging out in the darkness. Yeah, I don't really even remember the end of this movie. It's been a couple days since I've watched it. Needless to say, not a good one. Day 9, The Power. The Power is from 1984, and I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. It kind of fucking sucked. Um, I'm going to harken back to what I said in week 1. I remember a lot of box art growing up, because, I've always been into movies. I'd never seen the cover for this movie. I saw it, and I thought, holy shit, that's some really cool box art. Unfortunately, the box art was the coolest part of the movie, because this movie kind of sucked. It was hard to follow. It started really strong. College professors talking about an Aztec god totem thing. It's like a little clay statue. It's supposed to, I guess, harbor, represent the Aztec god of death or power or something. And he taps into it and like makes the class clown's nose bleed. Then dismisses class. His partner shows up and he's just like, "Oh, you've been using the power. You read all my studies. You can't control it. No one can." And he's just like, "Get out of here!" And then, of course, the statue's like, "No, you can't control me." And then he proceeds to like freak out and starts shaking, and was then he's levitating in the air, all Jesus-like, and basically he gets impaled on a flagpole very slowly. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, this might be a good movie." And then I was fucking mistaken. Because then it immediately cuts to the scene of the guy he told to fuck off. He's going to find the statue, and it's very tiny. It's like yay big, real little, fits in the palm of your hand. But yeah, he had the statue. Then it cut to a scene of the other guy getting the statue, and he ends up like meeting some people, like a grandfather and a grandson out in the middle of the desert. I'm assuming in Mexico, because I don't know. And yeah, he shoots him. He's like, "Oh man, like I got a taste of the power. I want it." And the grandfather's like, "No, you can just look at it. We're not gonna give it to you." And he's just like, "Oh, okay, well, we can go to bed." And he shoots him in the middle of the night, very viciously, and he killed the child for it. He succumbed to the power. Then the movie cuts to some teenagers. 3 teenagers, and one of them just happens to have it. And granted, I might have nodded off for a second, but I really don't think I did. Because it's a lot of times in this movie I was thinking, I thought the same thing. Did I fall asleep? Did I blink my eyes a little too long? So I went back a few times, and I was like, no, I didn't blink my eyes. This movie just kind of sucks. And yeah, it's like too many movies pushed together. Because like you have the professor part at the beginning, then you have the little kids, or they're not little, I guess little high school kids, running around with the statue, and then it cuts to another story, like a weird, like, I'm not even call it a love story. Guy like comes in town and he's just like, "Oh hey, I haven't seen you in forever. You never answered my letter about me confessing my love to you and shit." And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking, yep, didn't read it. Sorry." Really awkward. She's a journalist. She works for a news agency that seemed kind of like a tabloid. They just kind of printed whatever the fuck happens. I think they were talking about somebody getting attacked by bees. And the guy keeps bugging her. Then the kids, like, they take the statue and they, like, try to do a little seance with it. It summons something. They get spooked. Dude dies. And then, they print it then the journalist prints it in the paper, and the kids were like, "Oh shit, we were there, like, right before he died." And they're like, "Well, what were you doing?" And, shows them the statue. The weird, creepy friend from out of town immediately, like, I need that. Like, I need it so I can make you print a supernatural story because you don't believe in it, and I'm just going to be an asshole and pester you the whole movie. Long story short, he becomes possessed by the power, or yeah, whatever. I'm not going to say he's possessed, but he's overcome by the power the statue gives him. He can move objects, telekinesis. I guess you can kill people with it. Then he tries to do a ritual. They try to stop him. The kids try to steal the statue. He kills some people. It was just kind of a mess. Then at the end, they try to salvage it because you think, oh, the guy, one of the professors from the beginning, he shouldn't be in the rest of the movie, but he is. Because the girl, after being chased by the possessed creepy friend, she ends up crushing the statue, and it just shatters him. It literally shatters to the guy. Like, his skin's busted open, he's dead. Well, cut to the end of the movie, and the chick, I guess there's been some time since then. Time enough for the writer, or the journalist who write a book about the bullshit, probably still skeptical somehow, even though there was a fucking ritual being done in her house and everything was real spooky. But yeah, little girl's there, and then like the weird guy who shot the grandfather and grandson, he shows up. His face is all messed up. He's on a cane walking all funny. He's like, oh, you might have destroyed it, but the power can never die. And that was the fucking power. It sucked. Bye. Day 10, laid to rest. Now, starting this whole marathon out, I told myself I was gonna try not to watch movies I'd seen before, but I would make exceptions here and there. Well, this is one of those exceptions because holy shit, have you seen Laid to Rest? Because you fucking need to. It's on Tubi for free, and it's just really good. This is a movie from let me check my notes. Fucking 2009. So it's an older one, but it's a good one. It's basically the story of a girl who wakes up in a coffin who is not all there, because she proceeds to be like, ooh, I woke up in dead box. I don't know what stuff is. And then she like she figures out she's in a funeral home, and it's like, oh my god, where is things? What are I? And yeah, she's not really thinking all that clearly, and you don't really know why. And then she finds a person, and then they immediately get killed. In a very gory fashion. This movie is gory as hell. And it works. I was very shocked watching this back in the day. I guess I watched this with Fletcher, I think, for the first time. If you guys don't know who Fletcher is, go check out Black Heart Cinema Podcast. Shameless plug in my shit, but who gives a fuck? Go watch Laid to Rest. It is so fucking good. And it holds up. Because like I said, I watched this in 2009, and then I watched it in 2020, and it's still really fucking good. The effects are really good, and I'm still pondering, like, how do they do some of them? I really don't want to get into this movie too deep because it's just that good. I will a little bit, though. But like I said, girl wakes up. She doesn't know where she is. She's not thinking clearly. First person she sees is killed. He is killed by a dude wearing a ChromeSkull mask. And you would think when I say mask, something that goes over his head. No. It's literally like a piece of chrome, the shape of a mask, just suctioned onto his face. He's wearing all black, and he's got two, like, hunting knives with little finger holes with spikes on it. And he fucks people up, and his goal is to basically get the chick. And the whole time he's recording, he's got a shoulder-mounted camera and with a big red light on it. And he's just recording everything he does. He tries to kill her. She gets away, runs down the street, gets picked up by a good Samaritan. He takes her home because he knows, like, something's obviously rhymes a hidden burp. That he knows something is wrong, but she's not thinking clearly. His wife at home thinks she's like a crackhead who got beat up or something. She tells a little more of her story, but eventually everyone's sympathetic. They're like, oh, well, we'll help her. And then holy shit, killer shows up, immediately just starts offing people. And then just people that aren't even there, he's just hanging out there still for a couple minutes after everyone runs away, or, you know, who's left runs away. Just murders some more people. You see a guy, you know, you think, oh shit, he's about to die. And he's like, gets out and he's got his girlfriend in the car and he's like, hold on, I'm gonna go take a look, see, you know, what this is. Comes back and he's like leaning in the window and he's talking. He's like, oh, don't worry, babe, you know, we'll catch him in the morning, blah, 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 whatever. Immediate hunting knife through the mouth. And he's sitting there bleeding, the girlfriend's screaming, and then the killer pulls it back. And you get a nice bisection of, like, lower jaw and neck, just spewing blood like crazy. When I first saw that, I was like, holy shit. And then when I saw it, like, damn near 10 years later, I still had the same reaction of, oh shit. This movie does not give a fuck. It doesn't care who it's offending. I mean, it's not really offensive, but it's just really gory, and it's a little overdone at times, but it works, and it's so, so good. And like I said, I'm not really going to get into it, but they meet people along the way. Their little group grows bigger. A lot of people die. A lot of needless death. But you don't ever really know what the fuck the ChromeSkull guy is doing other than just fucking people up with hunting knives, twin hunting knives, and just whatever else he can find laying around. And he's recording it all, so you think, oh, maybe he's some kind of like guy who makes snuff films, or he's just insane and just likes to make videos of horrible things he does. Kind of like Creep 1 and 2. If you haven't seen those, check them out. But yeah, like I said, don't want to get into this one too deep. I'll give you a little taste at the end, though. They trick him. They incapacitate him using, like I said, this shit was his mask is suctioned onto his face, so he uses glue because it gets knocked off several times in the movie. He uses glue to put it back on. Well, they replace it with this like super crazy corrosive glue. So, you know, of course, his shit gets knocked off because he's catching fucking like 45 rounds, just, you know, like boom, ready to kill. Well, you know, he takes it off, he reapplies his glue, then puts it back on, immediately starts eating his face. And then boom, you know, killer's dead. She's like, oh, you know, I got my tape or whatever, I need to figure out who I am, because, oh shit, I have a massive head wound. And she figures out who she is, and she's like, well, fuck. Fuck it, I'm gonna go get in the car with this other guy, and we're just gonna leave, start over. But guess what? I always knew they made a sequel to this movie, and apparently I was told I watched it back in the day. Do not remember it because, guess what the next day's movie is? You'll never fucking guess. Day 11, ChromeSkull laid to rest 2. Now, I mean, I'm sure I gave away in day 10 what day 11 was going to be, because I get on Tubi a lot, and I've always seen ChromeSkull laid to rest 2 on there, but I was always like, I don't want to watch it, because I want to watch the first one. And for some reason, there for a little bit, they never had the first one on there. And they fixed the problem, and they put both of them on there. So I sat down and decided to watch both. Almost back to back, and yeah, I did not remember ChromeSkull. I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm gonna call it Laid to Rest 2. I did not remember Laid to Rest 2. I was told that I watched it, but I guess there's a reason why I didn't remember it, because it is not as good as the first one. The first one, the first one, you pretty much know the killer's dead, or you're led to believe. Well, number 2 starts off literally right where the first one left off. And apparently ChromeSkull has friends and an organization behind him because they immediately show up. They subdue whatever cops are coming to report, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we've got like 8 minutes before backup shows up." So oh shit, get him stable, get him in the truck, let's get him out of here. Well, ChromeSkull, who you're led to believe is just some kind of well-off rich psychopath who fucking people up. Well, no, he has a group of people working for him. They never explain what this organization is. They don't really even explain what they do, other than just do whatever the fuck ChromeSkull tells them about. Shit. Technical difficulties. They pretty much just do whatever ChromeSkull tells them to do. And, like with the first one, I'm not going to get into too many details. Because of course, if you're going to watch the first one, do yourself a favor, watch the second one. It's got a lot of the same cast, the ones that were left, and yeah, it's, and I might have come off strong saying this one wasn't good. Like, I'm not trying to say this movie's not good, because it's really good. It's just not as good as the first one. They couldn't capture lightning in a bottle again, but they showed you, what's written on the bottle, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And they kind of explore, his little vast network of people and places, and like this movie follows like his assistant mainly, and then some throwaway character from the first one, who really is only in the last 20 minutes maybe. Well, he's the main character in this one for the most part, sharing the lead role with I guess our final girl. Sorry, don't know names. Can't even remember character names. All I know is she's like going blind, and she basically gets snatched up. I guess they've been watching her. I guess he sends his people out to pick girls, I guess his type, whatever the fuck that means. They go and pick out girls for him, like, oh, you want to terrorize and kill this one? And he's just like, mm-hmm. After, of course, like I said in the first one, his face was melted off to the bone. And they had to fix it. And that part was kind of cool. Like, they just had skin grafts laying around for just, I guess, that type of occasion. And, yeah, basically he gets rebuilt. He's not wearing the mask just yet. He's just, I guess, getting things ready. And he's just giving himself an easy kill to kind of bounce back from, fumbling up the last one. Well, like I said, the chick from the first one, she is in this one. She's not in it very fucking long, though, because his main assistant, Preston, he looks like a fucking Preston, too. Not talk shit about that actor, but he basically, I'm sure he gets typecast, and he knows why he gets typecast, probably. He's just generic, handsome fella. Whatever. Metrosexual, if you want to say. Yeah. That's going to date me a little bit right there. Either way, fingers on the fucking trigger, y'all. Either way, Preston is ChromeSkull's assistant. He kind of oversteps his bounds, kills a few people he shouldn't have. Generally just kind of talking shit to ChromeSkull most of the movie. Like you really fucking shouldn't, because you can see what the man can do. You obviously, you've worked for him. He's got the setup. And if you piss him off, he's gonna fuck you up. And apparently Preston just does not care. Starts overstepping his boundaries, pisses him off, and he ultimately pays for it. Now this one, I want to say just as gory, maybe a little less, but like I said, they couldn't capture lightning in a bottle twice, but you get to kind of see the bottle. It's an interesting take. Apparently they're supposed to be making a third one, but who knows? I hope they do, because I kind of want to see I want to know what the fuck they do, other than just spend ChromeSkull's money to make ChromeSkull happy. But this movie made me happy, as apparently I hadn't seen it before, and now I remember it a little better. And yeah, go watch Laid to Rest 1 and 2. And